guys. I promise it is morning. It's just daylight savings time, so it's been a little bit darker than usual during this time, but I'm gonna do the best I can with the lighting. I always try to use as much natural light as possible, if not like just all of it, because I had this thing about artificial lighting, which I don't know, it never really felt like good in my body. I will say though, like this Hush lamp that I have, I don't feel the same reaction from it, but like natural lighting that you get from like light bulbs, like they don't feel so good. Like my body doesn't get a good reaction from them, so I tend to like avoid them as much as I can. But it's difficult to do when literally like so much revolves around light, but natural lighting is everything. So probably while I'm doing this video, the sun will come out. So I'm hoping on that. Today's video was very much requested from a follower on Instagram. It is on self-love. And first off, I want to say I'm so honored to even be able to talk about this topic because it's something so essential to life, but something that has been very much, it's been very, like, how do you say it? I feel like society has lost its connection to like true self-love and what it actually means to embody it. I feel like nowadays it has become a more egotistical, selfish pursuit, which is not what it is at all. Because if there's one thing that I've learned from self-love is learning to love everyone and everything and accept them exactly as they are. And in that, you are able to practice and hold the same space for yourself. But the thing is, it all starts with ourselves. And if we can't hold space and truly embody self-love for ourselves, we can never give that to other people. You can never give somebody else something that you don't have. So, with that being said, I don't really have a structure for this video. I don't even think I have like actual tips. I'm just gonna share my experience and I hope that it inspires you to come up with your own definition of self-love and truly embody it. So I'll start off by saying self-love is definitely a journey. It's definitely a journey of really honoring everything that has made you who you are. I know it's easy to focus on our strengths and everything that's well, but when we're able to really meet ourselves and our flaws and learn to work and accept with them, that's when self-love starts to have more power, because you start to realize the beauty in your imperfections and you start to be able to practice that same amount of space for other people as well. For me, self-love has been truly just meeting myself where I'm at. And that has been one of the greatest challenges of my life, because I struggled a lot to be in the present moment. I always wanted to be in the future ahead, or sometimes I'll think of the past, and getting myself to be truly in the present moment has been a challenge. But being able to practice presence really expands the feelings of self-love, because you're not anchored to your past and you're not waiting on a future. You're here and now, and you can practice self-love in the here and now for whatever it is every day, you know. And what I have noticed is that self-love, how it, like the definition will evolve. It will evolve because it's evolved heavily for me, but it will change forms as you evolve in your journey. Because I remember a point in my life where self-love was literally just doing the hard, and was my hardest critic and everything, but I needed that at the time because I didn't really grow up with the guidance or with the parental supervision or with just the basic laws of life that I needed to be a healthy, functioning child, adolescent, teen. So at some point in my life, like self-love was like very strict and like discipline, and while I still like discipline is still a very important part of self-love, through being like my toughest critic, I also learned to practice self compassion and kindness because that goes a very, very long way. You know, I realized I took the criticism super far and practically ran myself into a wall, like of burnout and just a place where I just was very unhappy with myself physically, emotionally, spiritually, in all ways. So really just learning to, number one, have the awareness to recognize where you are in your journey and how much space you actually need, because the amount of space changes, you know, as you evolve too. But also just knowing that perfect balance of like kindness and criticism, because criticism definitely has its strengths, and when it's you doing it, you know, it can come off as a benefit sometimes because you're able to catch yourself before anyone and you're able to really just be aware. I think self-awareness is so important because you're able to just be aware of your weaknesses, and yeah, you can work with them. And just when I think of self-love, I just start to think about being human and just this whole experience that I'm having here on earth. And I'm just like, how could you not love like yourself, you know, in this human experience? Like, just the fact that we're alive, feeling, healing, and just able to really show up in life and play out, like, it's amazing. It's truly like amazing, and I just don't know. I mean, I know because I've been there, but it's like when you realize what an amazing creature you really are and how much you have gone through and how much you continue to muster through this lifetime, like that self-love comes. That self-love comes, but it comes in the silence, in the pauses, you know, where, and we have to be willing to take them, or else they'll stop. They'll literally fly us by. Yeah, self-love. When I think of self-love, I definitely think of the marriage vows. And honestly, guys, I have recited marriage vows to myself multiple times throughout my life because things got super, super hard. And there were times in my life where I didn't know if I was gonna make it. I just didn't know. And just telling myself for healthy or for sick, for rich or for poor, like that really puts things into perspective because you have both extremes, both opposites, and realize that you can exist as both, and none of them have any measure of your ability to be loved, whether you're rich or poor, sick or healthy. Like, I have been these things, and I was worthy and still am worthy of love in all these circumstances. So knowing that love isn't really attached to a specific quality or thing, it's something that is natural, and it always applies. Like, there's never a time where you're not worthy of love. Like, just the fact that you're existing, you're worthy of love. And as long as you keep that in mind and keep that in the center of your heart, like, you always have that flow of love. And love is literally like the most powerful emotion we could ever experience. you know, and whether we're receiving that from somebody else or from ourselves, like, it's really important to keep that flow going, because it definitely does add to life, and it keeps us in a perspective of being grateful for our existence and for who we are and who we are becoming. So yeah, self-love is such a huge topic. um, I have grown so much in this space, and honestly, like, the tough times really show you how to really, like, depend on and anchor self-love for the difficult times, because we don't always have other people to give it to us. And I'm almost convinced, like, very few people actually know what true love is in society. So really learning and embodying what true self-love means is really essential to feel your best and to live that example in your life and be that reflection for others, because our world needs so much love. And I truly believe love is the number one healer. And when we heal ourselves and give ourselves the love and space that we need, we create more space for the world to also be loved. With that being said, I feel like that was a lot, but I could continue to go on and on about this topic forever, and I probably will. This definitely isn't the last video on love, but I'd like to know your thoughts on self-love and how you show yourself self-love in your life.